Hey everyone, I know we went over this in class today on how to use Desmos to help you with a graph, but I thought I would just provide a little reinforcement in case I went a little fast or for the other classes. So let me share my screens real quick. Um, Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. There it is. Okay. Okay, so there's my Desmos screen. Actually, I wanted to share another screen. Can I do that? Maybe. Desktop. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you're looking at my desktop right now. And you can see on my desktop, I have a table here, which I've made about soccer ball sizes 1 through 5. And I have not quite an arithmetic or geometric sequence, but a sequence nonetheless of the circumference sizes. Now, the table, a relatively easy thing that you guys have done, and there's instructions in there, but let's look at how to take this table and put it into Desmos and make it look real nice. So let me make this. I'm going to move this a little. Okay, so I'm looking here at the Desmos um, screen, your basic screen, and I want these points 143, 251, etc., to go on to a Desmos graph. So I'll just start with that. If I put as a coordinate point 143. And right now, if you look at my Desmos screen, you don't see anything. There's a dot that's supposed to be there. So I'll just zoom out and show you that that red dot right there that I just did, 143 is on there. We'll make this look better here in a second, but let's just make sure we can get all of my points on there. So if you want another point, you just click below, just like you would put equations on there. Let me close that so I can see both of them at once. All right, so 251, and we'll play with that label button here in a minute as well, but let's just make sure all of our points are on here. Size 3 soccer balls are 58 centimeters in circumference. Size 4 soccer balls. I'm just clicking right below uh, my 1 point to get to the next. So close the parenthesis. You got to make sure there's a comma between the points and close parentheses. I don't think it matters if there's a space. If there's a space, it's fine. If there's not a space, that works too. But there needs to be a comma and you need to have parentheses. Okay, so I have what is the basics of a graph that matches my table now. So uh, I have that separate representation, but still this graph isn't something that like I'd be proud of necessarily to turn in. So let's make this, what I want to do is I want to label the axes, the X and the Y axes, so that it represents something, not just numbers. And I also want to make sure that, I don't have all these negatives that I'm seeing, all this wasted space. Let's make this graph like as relevant as possible. That is to zoom in on the areas that I care about. So by clicking on that tool button up in the right-hand corner, if you get up there, your x-axis, this is where we're talking about uh, size of soccer balls for me. So if I click on the x-axis, it's going all the way down to -57. Well, the lowest number I need is a 0 or really a 1. So I'll just give myself a little buffer here, and I'll just say -1 or maybe -2, just so there's some space for my labels to actually show up. And the highest I want to go on my x-axis, well, the highest size soccer ball is 5, so I'll go to a 6 so that I have space a little bit to the left and to the right, just so that uh, actually, now that that's there, let's just make that -1. Okay. So just a little bit to the left of your low limit, a little bit to the right, and I'll actually label that soccer ball size. Okay. And my y-axis, the lowest circumference that I have is 43, and the highest that I get is right around 70. So let's go to about a little less than 0, -1 again, and up to, how about 75? Okay. So now if I expand it a little bit, now when I click out of there, this graph looks a lot better than it did before, right? I have my points. You can kind of see the trend that's happening. The circumference goes up as the soccer ball size goes up. Oh, I forgot to label the y-axis. So let's click that again. And just like I did before, click the label button. And what were we measuring here? Possible circumference. Possible circumference, and I'm measuring in centimeters. Okay. So now this whole graph, now it actually means something. I know soccer ball size and circumference. I can see what's going on. And a little added trick that I think looks nice is if you click on that label, now you can actually see the points, which is nice, but I think for me, if I were doing this one, I wouldn't want just the number one there. I would want someone to know that, hey, this is representative of a size 1 soccer ball, and that this blue point is representative of a size 2, size 3, size 4, size 5. So hopefully that helps you. Just some key components there just to review. Click that graph settings up in the upper right-hand corner, and hopefully that helps your project go to the next level. All right, everyone, I'm sure they're going to be great. Now let me pause. Wait, I didn't pause the recording. Bye, everyone.